Yesterday was a very busy day in this country, politically speaking. Number one, Luo members of parliament addressed the media. What was the objective of that address? And what were they responding to? Number two, Speaker Justin Muturi gazetted Wednesday and Thursday as special House sitting days to debate and vote for the Building Bridges Initiative Bill. Number three, Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka also received the JLAC committee report. But what I want to discuss today in this video was the statement by Luo members of parliament. Why were they addressing the media? And why were they going as Luo members of parliament? And not even Nyanza, and not even ODM. What was the objective of that address? For us to understand why the Luo members of parliament addressed the media yesterday, I want to play for you a clip of James Orengo almost a month ago.
So serious in this country, as Uhuru and Raila are talking about BBI, there's a cabal, and I'm saying this without a fear of contradiction. There's a cabal inside government who are busy trying to chart the way how Kenya will be ruled in 2022. Civil servants have no business at this time, when we have got the Big Four agenda, wherever they sit, to discuss and debate on a weighty political objective of how the succession is going to take place. And we saw it during Kibaki's time, even during the first Kenyatta's time. I urge these civil servants to be compliant and obedient to political institutions and constitutional institutions. Because what we have witnessed in the last 3-4 months, and I'm talking as somebody who have seen how government works, whenever civil servants who are part of a cabal try to chart the destiny of a nation for their own personal interests, there can never be any peace. So this is just a warning shot, because we are going to expose these people. They are trying to derail us. They have already declared in their mind who is going to lead, who is going to rule Kenya next year. And I'm telling them, you are sowing, you are reaping where you have not sown.
Now let me read for you part of the statement by Luo members of parliament. They're saying the latest efforts to derail the handshake and BBI is the contest over the content of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill as proposed by the BBI. So basically it means the fight is over amendments to the Building Bridges Initiative process. So basically what's happening is that two camps have emerged, especially in Luo Nyanza. And these two camps, one is supporting Raila Odinga and the BBI blindly. And then there's another camp which believes that Raila Odinga was shortchanged. And therefore the Building Bridges Initiative process should not pass the way it is. I'm going to get into the details. Let me just continue with their statement. It's saying the bill has been endorsed by an overwhelming majority of county assemblies after being embraced by millions of the people of Kenya. It is in this context that we have convened here as elected leaders of Luo community to express singular and undivided support for the BBI bill as endorsed by the people of Kenya and the majority of county assemblies. We reject any attempt to alter that bill, whether the alteration is for grammar, flow of sentences, and wording of law and semantics. As MPs, we recognize and accept the limited role given to us by the people on this bill. We submit to the people of Kenya that ours is to accept the bill in its entirety or reject it in its entireties. Ladies and gentlemen, they are continuing. No community has suffered the ravages of elections violence like the Luo from 1992 to 2017. There are our people who are displaced from many parts of the country, never to return in 2007-2008 violence. Hundreds were killed. Many businesses were looted, never to recover. Now, this is the issue. Before we get into all these details, this is the issue. The JLAC committee, which is composed majorly of the allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the allies of Raila and Uhuru Odinga. JLAC is basically the Justice and Legal Affairs Committees of Parliament, which was looking into this bill. So that committee composed majorly of the allies of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the allies of Raila and Uhuru Odinga. As a matter of fact, that committee was reconstituted, and allies of the deputy president were kicked out from all those committees in preparation of the events which are currently unfolding. So the expectation was that this committee were just going to rubber stamp the proposals as contained in the Building Bridges Initiative bills. But this committee, in their own wisdom, decided that certain changes had to be made. Number one, this committee, in their own wisdom, has decided that the proposals to create 70 new constituencies is actually unconstitutional. And they're going further to explain that that provision is actually seeking to usurp the powers of the IBC. That is only the IBC which can distribute the constituencies. That the law, that the BBI ought just to recommend 70. Once they've recommended the 70, then it was going to be the work of IBC to decide. So that was the first proposal that they are recommending. The other proposal they're recommending is to abolish, in the BBI, they're recommending to abolish the vetting of ministers, the vetting of permanent secretaries, and the vetting of permanent secretaries, cabinet secretaries by parliament. Because it's expected that in the new dispensation, some cabinet ministers are going to come from parliament. But personally, I don't understand why they're doing away with the vetting. Why parliament should not vet some of these people. I don't know. So the team is saying that the proposal to abolish the vetting of ministers, PS, and cabinet secretaries should not be done away with. Number three, there's also this proposal to reduce the powers of the National Police Service Commission. So this JLAC committee is saying that that ought not to happen. It should just be left the way it is in the current constitution. That JLAC committee has James Orengo from the Senate as the team co-chair, and from Parliament there is Kigano Muturi, a key ally of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then there is Otienda Amolo, and then there is Okongo Omogeni. The problem with the deep state is that they believe that Orengo, Otienda Amolo, and Okongo Omogeni are very close with the Raila and Uhuru Odinga. And that because they are the ones who are leading the rejection of some of these proposals, then it means Raila Odinga is actually the one rejecting these proposals. But James Orengo, Otienda Amolo, and Okongo Omogeni, from Nyanza perspective, or from the Luo Nyanza perspective, are enjoying a lot of support. So yesterday, another group emerged, led by Opio and I, to counter Otienda Amolo, to counter Okongo Omogeni, and to counter James Orengo. Their argument is that the BBI process cannot be altered. That members of parliament cannot change that document. Because changing that document will allow someone to go to the courts. And then after going to the courts, then BBI process is going to be scuttled. What they are saying, which also makes sense, is that the process should actually go to parliament. So parliament will have no option. Either they vote for it, to accept or to reject. So whether they accept or reject, then it will still have to go to the people. And it's the people who will decide that this document is bad and vote for no. Or this document is good and vote yes to it. That's what they are saying. But the truth of the matter is that the James Orengo group are enjoying massive support from the ground. They're enjoying massive support because of 4 reasons. The first reason is that within Nyanza, there's a feeling that Nyanza was shortchanged in the BBI process. That Migori County is not getting a single constituency. That Homa Bay County is not getting a single constituency. And that Game constituency alone is bigger than Kiambu County, despite the fact that Kiambu has more population, but the size of Game constituency is bigger than Kiambu County. But Kiambu is gaining more constituencies than any other constituency. So they're saying that let IBC decide, use their parameters to decide how to allocate some of these constituencies, because they believe initially, amongst the 70, there was a constituency hived off Nyatike, and then there was another constituency hived off Karachuonyo. So Rengo and the group are enjoying support because of the perceived shortchanging of Nyanza. Number 2, there's also this notion that Central Kenya are going to get more constituencies. And because they are going to get more constituencies, they'll have more say on who becomes the next Prime Minister. When it comes to voting in Parliament, they'll have a bigger say. So those are some of the issues, to an extent that most people believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta is setting the stage so that even if he's not in power, then the people of Central Kenya will still have a lot of say in the country. So Orengo and the group are enjoying support of the Luo people on the grassroots. Number 3, the third reason why they're enjoying support is because there's a feeling that Central Kenya is not supporting this building bridges initiative process. They're not committed to it. And that Luo Nyanza is committed to the building bridges initiative process. But in return, Central Kenya is gaining more than the Luo region is gaining from this particular process. So the truth of the matter is that these guys are not comfortable with the fact that Nyanza people are not comfortable with the fact that despite the fact that they are supporting the BBI, Central is gaining. And because of that, the Orengo group are gaining support. And number 4, there's also a feeling in Nyanza in general, that Raila Odinga is being played by the deep state. That they're using Raila Odinga to pass this BBI, and once that BBI is passed, then they can do whatever they want. So most people are even comfortable now with the building bridges initiative process failing to even take off. They'll be more comfortable with that. So those are some of the issues causing friction within Nyanza. And as a matter of fact, if Parliament is going to alter or to change some of the provisions, then someone will easily go to court and BBI is going to stop. Those are some of the realities. That's why the jail-like in their recommendation are saying the proposals to distribute 70 new constituencies is unconstitutional, but they're just allowing the whole process to proceed. They're not saying the process should not proceed. But why do you think Luo Nyanza members of parliament held that meeting yesterday? Why do you think they held the meeting? Number 1, they want to dissociate from the Orengo group. Now, the truth of the matter, and just like I explained earlier, there's a feeling that Orengo, Otienda Molo, who are members of JLAC, and Okongo Mogeni are very close allies of Raila Odinga. And that there is no way those 3 people can speak and take a strong stand the way they've taken without the support of President Ruto, without the support of Raila Odinga. So the deep state feels strongly that it is Raila Odinga who is inciting Orengo, who is inciting Otienda Molo and Okongo Mogeni to actually team up with members sympathetic to the deputy president to kick out some of the recommendations. So what these members of parliament from Luo Nyanza are doing, they decided to call this press conference just to prove that the ODM party, especially from Luo Nyanza, are not with Orengo and they are not with Otienda Molo on their stance. So that's number 2. They just want also to show their support for the building bridges initiative process and the handshake. The truth of the matter is that if the handshake is going to fail, if the BBI is going to fail, I don't know where President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are going to put their heads. It's going to be shameful for them if they were to lose. Those are some of the realities. And the fact of the matter is that Raila Odinga has been banking on the support of members of parliament from Luo Nyanza to push through this BBI. So when Orengo and Mutinda Molo, who are very senior lawyers in this country, can decide that it's unconstitutional, then it means the handshake is going to be in limbo. So the truth is, these guys just wanted to confirm their support for handshake and Raila Odinga. Number 3, I think these guys are also just out to please Raila and to please Uhuru Kenyatta. The truth of the matter is that some members, some county assemblies in this country received a fake BBI bill. The first thing, in my view, which ought to have been investigated is how they received a wrong bill and who was responsible for that and what was the objective. Those are the questions which I expected to read in this particular statement by Luo members of parliament. But this statement, they're just trying to appeal or to please Raila Odinga and to please President Uhuru Kenyatta. There are serious issues. There are serious gaps which they're not addressing. I don't know what you think, but the truth of the matter is that on Wednesday and on Thursday, members of parliament are likely to pass the BBI bill the way it is. And if they're going to pass it the way it is, then it means someone will not go to court. But if they're going to make any amendments to it, I can assure you, someone will go to court and the BBI process is likely to end. I don't know what you think. Maybe it's the time reggae will stop. But can anybody manage to stop the reggae? That's the biggest question. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.